Today's topic is going to be something that really touches my heart. It's been the source of my inspiration for work and at home. And it's really all about the people here in front of me today, the children of the future. And you are the people who will be the ones that build the world that my children will live in and their children will live in. And it really makes me reflect upon what it is that's changed in this world that we have to be aware of. When I was your age, I'm guessing here 15 to 25, this is the age range, life was very simple. I think when I was 15, I set up my first Hotmail account. That was when Hotmail was the in thing. And I kept in touch with my friends very simply by telephone. We would hang out at school, and then we would, as the Chinese say, 煲電話粥. Okay, that would be the way we would hang out. And the way people hang out now is it's a different world. We live in the digital era. I am not one that says no to technology. I mean, it makes great changes in our lives. It makes the world a much smaller place. Friends that I don't see or it would have been difficult to find, they're so close now. Everyone is a touch away. But at the same time, it makes me think, in a world where it is information overload, every day you're bombarded, every second with information, not just on television, but on multiple touch points, on your telephone, on the TV screen, on your iPad, in your ears, everything. How do we make sure that the world that our children grow up in is a place where they're able to make their own decisions? They are able to digest the information that they receive and then find the right way themselves. And that, as a parent, I think it's very important for me. So a few statistics. I did some homework. The average adult in the UK and the US, they spend a horrific 7 hours facing a screen a day. This does not include the time that they're working, doing their worksheets or replying emails. And then what's even more scary, in China, the average is 8 hours a day, and in Indonesia, it's 9 hours. And more scary is, I read some research recently on Forbes and on the BBC website. The average teenager in the US, they spend 9 hours facing a screen. And this brings me to my first topic with you. Like I said, I don't hate the world of technology. I found this picture whilst I was checking out Facebook one day, which I don't do much of, but and this is care of a gentleman called Sam Harris. I don't know him. It was a repost from a friend's Facebook page, and it really made me stop because it's exactly what I feel about the world today. So to start with, imagine a place with no Wi-Fi. Well, imagine a place without internet access. I think on this planet, it's pretty difficult to find a place without internet access. In Hong Kong, I think it's pretty difficult. As of recently, the place where I've been to where there was no access, there was no telephone, there was no mobile access, put it this way, was when we went on our family trip this summer to Cornwall. We were right at the edge of Wales, and there was no telephone at work. My boss couldn't call me. Oh, my boss being my dad, he couldn't call me. And it was really strange because I was at peace with myself. The reason being because everybody that was important to me, excluding Dad, was with me. My husband was with me, my kids were with me, my mom, my brothers, their family, they were with me. And that was a really cool 2 days, just 48 hours without any noise. And my point is, I'm not saying that we need a world without internet access. I mean, I think literally all of us here would have a mental breakdown if we had no access to the kind of information we have today. But what I'm saying is, sometimes you should just sit down and really do what the old saying says, sit down, smell the roses. Sit down, really enjoy your cup of coffee, which is, I think, what this LA cafe was trying to get across. don't look at your telephone or try and get something off the internet. Just sit down, just for that moment. Really appreciate what you have. Which then again brings me to my second topic of choice. Here it says, talk to your friends. How many of you, I have definitely been guilty of this, gone to a restaurant with family, with friends, and everyone has their head down. And what is everyone doing? Everyone is looking at their mobile phone. Or everyone is taking a picture of the food, or doing a selfie, and then posting it onto Facebook, and then, worse, we keep chatting about it. You're sitting opposite me, and I'm going, yeah, don't you think, oh, I got an extra like, oh, and then, do you know who's looking at this? The whole conversation is all through the telephone. I mean, what is the purpose of having lunch or dinner with your friends and family if you're not talking to them? This is what makes us human beings very different. The fact that we're able to communicate with each other. This is how we drive change. It's not through just these inspirational messages, but really the face-to-face human touch contact. That's what the human race is about. This is what civilization is about. We don't want to end up in a world where we all sit there and we don't have to see each other anymore. Everyone just does everything with a finger, and that's it. And that's the end of human race as we know it, because this is what makes us different from other people. We are a community, and we need to talk to each other. And I think I would have a real problem if I talk all the time, and when I lose my voice, it's a very depressing thing, because that means I can only do things with my fingers. And more important thing is, us as human beings, friends, your family, sense of community, it's really important to growing up. When I was a child, my support system, very obviously, was my family, my mother, my father, and my 2 brothers. And today I'd like to share with you a picture. This is a drawing by my daughter. I have 3 girls. This one is by the 4-year-old. She and middle sister are here today. And this is her support system. When you ask her, who's most important in my life, she will say to you, Mommy, Papa, and my 2 sisters. And what really makes me reflect is when I was her age, if I was asked the same question, this would have been exactly the same drawing. My mom, my dad, and my 2 brothers. And then, as you grow older, I think when about the age of 15, suddenly you think, I'm all grown up, I don't need my parents, I have friends, that's a cool thing, which is right. At that age in life, friends are really important. And then you hit 20, 25, friends are still important, maybe sometimes colleagues. If you're lucky, you get a mentor in life who'll guide you in your career path. And then you come to where I am now. Have a career, and life changed about 5 years ago. Met my husband, and we had children. So the first one arrived, and 4 years ago, and my support system changed, surprisingly. My support system was no longer just my mother, my father, my 2 brothers, my husband. I had my daughter, and then we were blessed with 2 more girls, and life has become very different. My support system has grown, and I appreciate that. And that's my message to you. You really should appreciate your support system. And more importantly, one thing which, as a mother, I finally now understand, they support us. No, sorry. My support system, so yes, my children support me. No, sorry, let me rephrase my thinking. So the center of this picture is my daughter, and her support network is mommy, daddy, and my 2 sisters. And then we've never really looked at the flip side. The picture here is the girl in the middle, but what happens when we think about mommy? There's mommy. Where's mommy? Mommy's here, okay? Where's mommy's support system? It's the same. Mommy's support system is in her 3 children and daddy, and it shames me that I didn't realize this when I was in my teens, in my 20s, that as much as my parents support me, I support them too. And that is a thing, I know this sounds very deep to all of you at this age, but it's something I hope you can reflect on. Because it took me so long to realize that really you should not take your parents for granted. You should not take the love that your family provides you for granted. I'm a fortunate one. I have a lot of love in my family. Perhaps others are less fortunate. But even then, you should appreciate those around you. And I find that this is sort of like Newton's third law of motion, action and reaction. What you give out, someone else is going to have to push back. And it's exactly the way it works in your family. The more love you give to them, the more love they give back to you. So my final message to you goes back to this. So we've gone through the no Wi-Fi. Okay, take a break. Really enjoy the moment. Talk to each other. So really, talk to your friends. Don't talk to the phone. And most of all, it says call your mom here, but call your dad too. If you haven't called your mommy yesterday, please do so today. Thank you.